Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free. Does not cost you anything. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a Five of Pentacles. Now, as I was shuffling, I was seeing in my mind's eye the Five of Pentacles, because I feel like you're in a situation right now that you need it to be better, right? And maybe it's a financial thing, but I feel like this is, generally speaking, things feel like they're not in order, right? Things maybe are feeling like there's just a little bit of a lack of harmony somewhere. It might even be more severe than that. Sometimes this card is really talking about the ground being very shifty beneath our feet. You know, it looks like that, even looking at this card. It looks like there's not stable ground right now, okay? But that's the first card, so that's okay. Well, at least we know where we stand, right? So now we can figure out what we're doing with this energy, where we're taking it. Oh, well, there's the Fool energy. There's the Hermit. A Six of Cups, very nice. Four of Swords, I like that. And I like the Nine. I like this. This is a Sagittarian card. This talks about your strength, right? This talks about your commitment to your ideals, your commitment to your purpose. That's going to see its way through this kind of shifty period in your life right now, okay? And the Fool, I think, is, there's this unstable ground, and here's the Fool just kind of dancing, tap dancing, and skipping along right over this very unstable terrain, right? We've got the Universe or World card. We've got the High Priestess. We've got the Moon, and we've got the Lovers. Very nice. To me, the Lovers card, now, it doesn't have to be romantic. I can hear the groans now. Anytime we get the Lovers card, I feel that there's just a collective groan, you know. But this card, as I always say, it doesn't have to be romance. Now, it could be. Maybe this whole thing's a relationship for you. Maybe you don't really know where you stand in a relationship. It feels like it's unstable. It feels like you're on this kind of uneven terrain. Feels a little rocky, feels a little shaky, maybe. And then by the end of this, I think we really come together with it. We learn the truth, and we make that commitment, and we resolve this issue. That Five of Pentacles becomes a really stable and solid bond. Okay? This doesn't have to be romance, doesn't have to be a partnership of any kind. It could be generally a family situation. This card is talking about that union. This card is about kind of like formalizing our commitment to something. You know, we feel like we're on shaky ground here, but through all these really wonderful energies, we are kind of, we're recommitting to something. We're renewing our oath, you know, to our purpose, to ourselves, to spirit, to our plans, to our lives, to our future, whatever it is. However you want to look at it, it's the same thing. We're renewing this oath now, the uncertainty that we might feel, the anxiety we might feel now with that Five, really comes and really gets solid by the end of this, right? To the point where we are renewing this oath, restating this commitment. All right. A lot of good energies here. Let's select the mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And this is just going to go right down over here. Alien, Simon Mork Ripley, right there on top. I think Alien might have been our first... If I remember correctly, I think Alien was our very first, guardian of the mystery card that we had here on this channel. How many of you remember seeing Alien for the first time? Probably like a year ago, or more even by now. That card's going to tie everything together. We're not looking at it until the end. If you have a prediction, if your intuition is activated, leave your prediction down in the comments below. All right. I think that's important. I think, one, the channel is supposed to be a little interactive, right? I like that. But I also think it's good for us to practice our intuition. I think it's going to make us stronger. I think that it's going to improve over time the more and more we do that. Yeah. And indeed, we see a lot of cards here that kind of suggest that intuition. Let's look around the room. Major, 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 major. This is uncanny, but, you know, I'm not even that shocked anymore with you, Sagittarius. We've had so many readings where you get like all major arcana energies, or you get the path of the serpent is all majors, right? Or you get the path of the dove where you're surrounded by water, right? We've had those kinds of readings for you. It doesn't even surprise me anymore. I would expect nothing less from you, right? But nevertheless, we have a lot of this kind of, you know, instinctual or intuitive kinds of cards. The Fool, the Hermit, the High Priestess, and even the Lover's card too. This is about getting hit with that arrow of inspiration, you know, getting hit with that certainty. It's like the Fool maybe is on some shaky ground, isn't really sure what the next move is, and isn't really sure what to do. But the Fool also has the secret, because the Fool doesn't really care. The Fool's not really worried about it, is, like I said, kind of tap dancing over the, you know, over the coals, really. But the Lover's card's about getting hit with that arrow of falling in love, that arrow of inspiration, you know, that arrow of certainty. Kind of like, it's like an Ace of Swords, right? Getting hit with that arrow. And I think that this reinforces your commitment. And Sagittarius, you know all about the arrow anyway. But this just gives you that certainty that it just, all the worries are over, yeah? All the doubts, all the shaky ground, that's all done with now. We're getting that certainty, that clarity, we're getting hit with that inspiration, and we just renew our oath, and we're even more zealous about it, even more fired up, even more enthusiastic about it than we were. So we're restating this commitment, and we are, you know, kind of doubling our efforts here. Now we're tackling this life with fire, you know, with purpose, with intention, because this shakiness is being resolved, is being stabilized. All right. Let's see, so we have a lot of majors. We've got some fire, we've got some water, we've got some air, we've got some earth. Very balanced. It may seem like the Fool is just kind of being silly and tap dancing on the hot coals here. But really the Fool is surrounded by a lot of very positive energies. Okay? For one thing, the Fool's not worried about this current Five of Pentacles because it remembers the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is, you remember how good this thing is. If it's a relationship, if it's a project, if it's a job, career, whatever. You have memories of the very best days, right? You remember how good this thing has been. And if something has happened once in the universe, it's likely it'll happen again, right? I think it's like a law of nature or something. And so you remember that this can be really, really sweet, really, really good. It can feel really pleasurable, but also successful, harmonious. It can feel right, you know. So you remember how good it can be, and maybe, yeah, this was a 6, we're in the 5 now. We know we'll get back to a 6 again, right? So this is one thing that's motivating the Fool, that's giving the Fool. Again, the Fool has the secret, because the Fool is just kind of uncertain about the next move, but the secret key there is the Fool is just dancing along their merry way anyway, right? Because of all these factors. One is this memory. I know how good it has been, and it can be that good again. Yeah. And then also there is the four of swords up here. So it's kind of like the 5 is going the other way. And the 5 is kind of, the 5 is right in the middle here. And if we go a really, really good direction, we get the 6, obviously. But if we take a step back, we get the 4. And the 4 is one of these cards that just say, it's not really worth worrying about it intellectually. If there's something going on that's outside of your control, why bother stressing? And that's part of the secret of this Fool as well. The Fool doesn't stress over, well, anything really, but the secret in this message is that this is something that's outside of your control. You have no direct influence on what some of these changes, what some of this 5 of Pentacles stuff is. So why, it's very stoic. So why stress over it, right? Kind of another card that says, in a way, that I think maybe the 4 and 5 of Cups is more about the spilled milk, not crying over spilled milk. This is something that has happened. It's something that you can't undo it, right? All you can do is control yourself and your reactions, which we see with the rest of some of these cards. But you can't control other people. You can't change the reality of the situation completely, right? So there's a lot of things here that you shouldn't worry about because they're not in your control. We need to be aware of them. And when we say don't worry, that doesn't mean don't pay attention. It just means don't stress over it. Just take things as they come. See it for what it is. Do what you can do to make things the best they can be. And breathe easy, Breathe easy. This card is all about the breath too, right? The 4-fold breath. Yeah. You breathe in for whatever you're comfortable with, 4 seconds, 8 seconds, 12, 16, whatever you can do. You hold it for the same amount. You breathe out for 4. You hold it for 4. You breathe in for 4. And it's very steady, very rhythmic. And it really does help us unwind the mind, So I feel like maybe that's something that you should try. Consult your doctor first, of course. Or it's something you already do, is that breath control. And we don't even have to look at it that formally, breath control, It's just deep breathing. We've all heard that. When you're stressed out, when you're mad, when something's going on, take a deep breath. Yeah, take a deep breath, but you've got to be focused. You've got to be aware of what you're doing. Take a deep breath, yes. Hold it for a moment and let it out slow. Do that a few times, right? And it's indirectly controlling the prana, the energy, the chi of our bodies. Okay? The energy that's in us that gets a little bit congested in our minds and we start stressing over stuff. So if we can move that energy around, get it out to the rest of the body and let it flow through us more, we'll have less stress. That's the secret of the Fool. The Fool is all about the breath. The Fool is just one big bag of wind, right? It's pure air, the Fool. We also have the Hermit energy underneath you here. The Hermit is, it's a major arcana energy. And I think that this is kind of a, not exactly related to the Fool, but I think this is a different kind of message. Maybe we should stick with the Fool and the elemental energies before we get to the Hermit. The secret that the Fool has for the 5 of Pentacles, because remember, the Fool is surrounded by all of the 4 elements, the fire, the water, the air, the earth. The secret of this is, one, that the change, the uncertainty, the disruption that might be going on, the shaky ground is good. It's good for things to get shaken up once in a while, to kind of wake things up, clear things out, to get things moving so that there is progress. Okay? No growth comes without some sort of tension or stress. Yeah. So this card is really fundamental to the universe. I mean, everything is always changing, especially in the earth plane. Think of all the elements around us. All of the physical things, even things that have been here for, a year or more, is constantly changing. And I don't notice the change, but this thing is slowly decomposing. It's slowly losing its form. Maybe it's getting a little bit melty or something under the lights. I don't know. But this process of change is inevitable. Everything is always in flux. Sometimes we don't always see it, right? We don't always notice the slow changes in everything around us, including us. So that's another kind of mystery of this Fool energy. That's why the Fool is just always happy, always dancing around and being silly and having fun. Because, hey, it's life. Life is going to change. Things are going to come. Things are going to go. Things are going to grow. Things are going to decay. It's just life, man. You know? The Fool is the most Tao. I keep thinking of the Big Lebowski here. Is just the coolest dude you know, right? And we could take a lesson. We don't have to be completely like this energy, but we could take some lessons from that, you know? And we can realize that, yes, change is the one constant thing in the universe, and that gives us a little bit of this reassurance that there's nothing going on right now that I haven't been through before, and that I'm not confident that I can get through again. Here's that Nine of Wands, the fire energy in the future. This is the strength. And this leads us really to that hermit, because the hermit is the one that's finding the inner strength, finding that connection with your spirit, with who you really are, with your spirit, your soul, with the divine energy, with God, goddess, deity, and how that energy exists within you as much as it does outside of us. That connection, that hermit internal connection, gives us strength. This card is called Strength. And it's the true strength and the resolve and the commitment that comes through us consciously being aware of our divine nature, of the spirit within us, without us, whatever you believe. Right? Whatever you believe. We're not dogmatic here. Try to be fairly non-sectarian. It's through that connection with that divine energy, with that spiritual energy. That's what gives us true strength and true will power. And that's what this card is all about. So this really is the other secret of the Fool, another reason why the Fool is dancing, because the Fool knows it has the strength and the power to get through anything. Whatever this is, it's not, in a very esoteric way, it's not going to hurt you, right? When it really comes down to it, it's not going to harm you, because we have this connection with that part of us that is not affected by earthly events, really, right? And so this isn't to say that we're not going to feel pain, that we're not going to get hurt, that this isn't going to be, a difficult situation, but this is the strength that we will survive, right? As long as we know how to love, right? Which is, of course, the Lover's card. See, everything is music. Let's go to the path of the Serpent now. And as we talk about these cards, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It would be very helpful to the channel. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. The algorithm's been a little weird, not really being all that kind to us here. So honestly, we could use all the help we can get. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hit the like button, leave a comment, share the videos, right? Watch them all the way through until the end. All that stuff's really important, really helps out. I really appreciate that. I want to keep doing these readings. I film 4, sometimes 5 readings every single day I'm here, right? 6 a.m. Chicago time. I'm eventually going to quit my day job. I was going to make like a big announcement, but I'm letting you in on that secret. I'm going to quit my day job pretty soon here. And once I do that, I'm hoping that I'll be able to get this new studio built, and then I can start making more content, different content. I'm doing the bedtime stories on the other channel. If you haven't seen that yet, it's Dove and Serpent bedtime stories. There's only a couple stories up there now. I still haven't figured out the exact formula yet, but it's kind of fun. But I hope to be able to do more things like that, and still, of course, keep up with doing all these readings, which this is really what I love doing the most, is reading these cards and reading this energy and talking to you. So the World, or the Universe card, this is your general energy. And right now, it may feel like this Fool is floating out in space. See, we have the beginning and the end. We have the Alpha and the Omega. And this is the fundamental energy of the universe, right? One infinite plus another infinite getting together and creating all of this mess, the good and the bad, And right now it might feel like you are just kind of floating around in the vast darkness, the cold, vast, lonely darkness of space, right? But it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to feel that way. What the Fool is trying to say with this universe card is that you are the universe, right? That you are responsible for this creation, that maybe we even chose to be here right now, in this body. Reminds me of a Tool song. Everything's coming up music today. I don't know why that is. We are a microcosm of the macrocosm, and so there's some kind of a comfort in this knowledge. To know that we are made of the same stuff as alien Simon Moore Ripley, the same stuff as these cards, the same stuff as all of the stars in space and all the space between the stars. Space Between, another good song, Dave Matthews, one of my favorites. There's a certain comfort in that. There's a certain connection. We feel that we are all one. We feel that we're part of this whole thing together. There's no separation. Yeah. And so sometimes even in our most profound loneliness, and that's again kind of touches on this Fool again. In our profound loneliness sometimes, that's where we can experience the most connection, the most feeling of family, of connectedness, of warmth, of comfort. Yeah. It's the huge, vast, infinite ocean of space, but we are a huge, vast, infinite ocean of consciousness. So we fill that space. No matter how big space gets, consciousness will always fill it. And I think this card's also talking about the Fool's journey, right? And so we're very certain of the end game here. And it's kind of like we're in maybe a rough period right now. We're in that Five of Pentacles kind of stage. This card is the certainty that the universe is taking us right where we need to go. That this hiccup is just part of the plan. It's part of the path. It's one little speed bump on my quest. Maybe this is a major part of the quest. Maybe this means the quest is almost over. It's almost nearing its kind of, maybe it's crescendo. Maybe it's climax, its final celebration. It doesn't mean it's the end, but it's a very big moment in the story, I think. But this is that certainty, that comfort we get by knowing that we are part of the universe, and whatever the universe is doing, we are doing it, and we're part of it, and it's all meaningful, it's all meant to be this way. This is the idea that everything is perfect how it is, even if it doesn't feel that way to my heart and mind, right? The heart-mind. And here's where we really start getting with the intuition, because the High Priestess in the environment and the Hermit inside of you. This is within, this is without. This is kind of the intuition. This is the signs that you're experiencing out in the world are telling you to go within and find your spirit again. Find your true self. Find that light within you that can make this future bright, that you can see now all this energy. It's one thing to talk about these energies. It's one thing for the Fool to come and just kind of be dancing circles around you. But it's another thing for you to realize that energy and feel that energy and participate in this. See, it's very easy to talk the talk. We got to walk the walk. Yeah. And so the High Priestess is everything from your environment. Everywhere you look, it's like you're seeing a road sign that says, go within. Find your light. Okay. And so in some ways it's saying, in the middle of this situation, this Five of Pentacles situation, go within, find your strength, find your light, find your Fool, find whatever's in here, find your God, goddess, deity, or guardian angel, connect with that energy. And that light that you find in here is the light that is illuminating the darkness of this path. And that leads us to the Moon card. The Moon is the darkness of the path. It feels like I can't see my own hand in front of my face because it's so dark. I don't know what's coming the next moment. I don't know what the future's going to be like. I don't know what tomorrow's going to be like. I don't know what the future of this relationship's going to be. There's an uncertainty here. If this is a romantic thing, put your pitchforks away. We don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know if we're going to make it. Right? The moon card says, I don't know what's going to happen. This is a new moon energy. And when it is a new moon, especially when it is a solar eclipse and a new moon, we have to be the light. We have to not be afraid of that darkness. We have to not be afraid of that future. We bring the light. You are the sun, right? You are the sun. And by going within in this hermit kind of energy and finding that light within, finding that divinity, finding that solar energy, we then aren't so worried about the future. We know that every step along the way, a little bit more will be revealed to me. It's kind of like you have a torch, right? And maybe you can see 3 feet radius around you. Well, if you take a step forward, that 3-foot radius also goes forward and you can see a little bit more. The more steps you take, the more is revealed to you. That takes courage. That takes strength. Yeah. And all of this, I think, is leading you to this lover's energy. This is that journey through the darkness that's going to lead you to the ultimate conviction. It's almost like we have to go through this dark period, and then on the other side, we come out with such a renewed connection, such a renewed oath and commitment to this thing, whether it's a relationship, a job, a life path, a career path, a creative way of life. It doesn't matter. Whatever we're talking about here, we have to go through this period here because this is what really solidifies your commitment, right? It's you get hit with that arrow. Now there's no doubt, there's no question, there's nothing. It's just 110%. And that's what this lover's card is. Yeah. It's maybe this is the idea of the bachelor or bachelorette party, right? We think that it's kind of this this celebration, the celebration of your last minute being, your last night being single or whatever. I wonder if it's really meant to be an initiatory thing. To take you through all of your doubts, all of your worries, all of your concerns, all of your uncertainty, to take you through that dark, eclipsed night, the new moon energy, to take you through that. Maybe that's why they happen at night, right? And I guess I don't know, I never was into that sort of thing. But it feels to me like that is a crisis of initiation. And then on the other side of that, now there's no doubt that you're committed to this thing, this person, this idea, whatever we're talking about. I wonder if that's true about those bachelor or bachelorette parties. Just a thought. I don't know. Mystery card. What is that going to be? What could it be? Maybe it will just be the Art or Temperance card, your power card. But we have power already. This is kind of already your power card, Sagittarius. So, what else might we need? We have a balance of elements already. We've got enough major arcana energy. What other majors could we want here? We don't need. I don't know. I'm not going to guess. I'm just going to say Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune. If you have a prediction, put it down below. Let's see what we have. Oh my gods. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune, right? I mean, what else could it be? This is exactly the way things are supposed to go. And sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. And then we realize that the work, the spiritual work, is not just surviving the low and the high and the low and the high. We're always on the perimeter of the wheel, right? Going up and down. Sometimes we're at the bottom. Sometimes we're between the rubber and the road. You know what I mean? Getting ground down underneath the wheel. Sometimes we're at the top and we just think, oh, I did it. I made it. But what we realize is that the wheel's going to go back down again, and we're going to get squished one more time. The spiritual work is clawing our way to the center of that wheel. Also suggestive of the Fool and suggestive of the Hermit. Suggestive as well of the universe, and how every point of consciousness is the center of the universe. If the universe is infinite, every one of us, every point of consciousness, my cat even, is the center of the universe, right? Is the center of the wheel. And I think that's the work, clawing our way to the center, where we can see our life going up and down and around. Sometimes we're getting squished, sometimes we are celebrating. But we're in the middle, right? We realize that there's something that's not touched by those things. We are not moving, but we're watching the world, we're watching the wheel go around us. You ever have that experience when you're a kid? You're in the car or something, and it feels like not that we are moving forward in the car, but that the car is stopped still, and it is the world going by us outside the window. My daughter, she's 3, she's having that experience. I remember that being a kid too, where it just feels like I'm not moving. Feels like the world's going on around me. Anyway, I think this is a wonderful confirmation card. This is also talking about the expansiveness of this thing. So this renewed commitment that you have, I think, is really taking it to the next step. I think something big is coming as a result of this kind of crisis that you're going through right now. And I don't say crisis in a literal way. I mean like this initiatory crisis, this kind of, this uncertainty. Maybe there's a wavering going on, Really good things coming. Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter energy, success, prosperity. All the best things. Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius every Wednesday and Sunday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. I'm here every day. You can come back, see me again tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed yet, though, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Sagittarius, I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.